You said we must include a foreign partner. Why is that so?
We're living in the global aviation industry, and a foreign partner, if we can, which we sincerely hope we will be able to, should be an airline, a global airline. Immediately, you have an airline partner. Your market expands. You are no longer a point operator. We leave Lagos here, we drop you in London, we cannot take you beyond London. Your market is constricted. Of all those who go to UK today, about 40% stop in London. The rest are going beyond London. If you have a global airline partner, you can reach any part of the world. That is why the alliances are there, global alliances. Most African successful airlines, South African Airways, Egypt Air, Kenya Airways, Ethiopian Airlines, they belong to global alliances. And so they can stay here and they sail to any part of the world. So that enlarges their market without they investing in going there. The aircraft may not be getting to the end of the world, may not be going to Tokyo, but they can sell Tokyo from their destination. And so that's why we need global airline alliance.
Is this also going to help the slots given to the airlines? We were talking about landing slots. For instance, when we say we now have a national carrier and we finally kick off and we have that global alliance with others, is it going to increase our landing costs, which invariably might also affect the airfare being charged? Because if you look at it, there's this disparity between what is being charged Nigerians as compared to other African countries. Even when you bring the distance into perspective, ours is so high to the extent that you wonder why it's so. So what's the dynamics in all of this, since you're an expert in the field?
Certainly, if we have a national carrier, when we have a national carrier, not if, because I think it's a fait accompli as far as I'm concerned, because the president is focused about it and we need to work with him. When we have a national carrier, it will immediately impact on the fares. Immediately impact on the fares. If you go to Kenya, you will see how Kenya Airways impacts on the fares. South Africa, go to it, you see how South African Airways impacts on the fares.
Because many of us thought that fares don't come down here.
No, fares don't come down here because we are not in the competition. We don't have an alternative. Let me just use the example. BA was here. When Virgin was coming, what we were told, what the government told us is that we bring down the fares. Today, we know what it is. It's a British cooperative duopoly. That's what we have. It's a cooperative duopoly. So there's no difference between them because it's in their own interest. But immediately a formidable Nigerian carrier enters that route, it will be a change situation. I tell you, it was Nigeria Airways that drove Pan Am out of Nigeria because the services, the operation, and the fares, Pan Am could not cope. Pan Am withdrew from Nigeria. I also tell you, when the PTF ran Nigeria Airways, I think it was late 80s, the services became so good that the British Airways had to drop the equipment they were using. They were not offering the capacities they were offering before because competition had come in and they were seeing that the capacity they were losing on the capacity being offered. And so the fares were by far better, cheaper for Nigerians. And that's what today we are losing. How much are we losing?
Well, you're also saying that, argument in terms of, government subsidizing its own airlines to the detriment of commercial flights. I'm sure that you're also monitoring what's going on internationally and how some people think that is unfair advantage being conferred on state carriers or state-run or state-owned carriers. Do you think that kind of thing is actually good? Should it be reasonable? Because will it depend a great deal on the equity that you're recommending?
Let me get you clearly.
In terms, are governments usually running it for a profit? Airlines are usually, commercial airlines are being run for a profit. Oftentimes, state-owned carriers are not run for a profit as much as prestige, as much as giving our citizens options, as much as just having it viable. As long as it can sustain itself, it's okay. Is it really fair? Would it really be fair on commercial carriers?
Well, let me tell you the truth is that it's not that state-owned carriers don't run for profit. You can't say that about Emirates. You can't say that about Ethiopian Airlines. You can't say that about South African Airways or Egypt Air. You can say that about our own situation. That's why I say we have proven not to have the discipline to run a state-owned airline.
Even though many of these big airlines learned from Nigeria Airways, they came and understudied and then went back and formed theirs.
Which one are you
in
talking
Africa?
about? In Africa. No, I think South African Airways had been there. South African Airways had been there even though it was under apartheid. When he came out of apartheid, he has to hire management from the US, a team of 5 managers led by Coleman Andrews, to run it for 5 years and establish the benchmark, a commercial benchmark for them to run.
Should we still call it Nigeria Airways?
What is the name? That's this thing. Some people have that in their heart that we will call Nigeria Airways. But
And there's a rumor.
There are so many names that you can take.
What's that rumor making the rounds that some of the workers are saying, hey, they're going to call us back? Have you heard that?
I've not heard that. Okay, there are a few.
Not even a whisper.
Look, there are a few that will be thinking about that. Nobody will call me back. I'm too old to work in such an airline now. And many of us are old. Where are the pilots? Where are the engineers? Many of them are 65, 69, 70. Some of them cannot operate again.
Would we have the manpower for it?
Manpower for it. Yes, we will have manpower for it. We will have manpower for it. And but what, if you are asking me, will we have the management for it? I will say to you, to tell ourselves the truth, to kickstart that an airline, we need to pay for the management. That's the truth. And then below the management, we put a line of Nigerians who in the next 4 or 5 years should take over from this management. That's what we should do.
All right.
But I think that it's a sweet thing to know that we are expecting a national carrier.
And we hope the sweet thing happens sooner rather than later. Thank you very much indeed for coming on this morning, Mr. Aligbe.
Chamberlain, thank you.
All right, then we'll be back after the break.
Nice to see all of you.
Join us again.